Yes, recording.
The thing is that
Can you just put that?
he's been carrying
TED
these
Talk.
stuffs around. Like
Oh,
these things, his microphone,
Oh,
the phone holder.
แม่ให้เด็กน้อยเก็บขี้ยาอยู่ห้องR12นี่มีขี้ยาเก็บแล้วมันมีมดเก็บนะ
Okay, so after we talking about the suicide like preventions or how about Ben? Sorry.
แบน
Oh yeah, we forgot about Ben.
I also want to ask,
Yes.
I don't know if you can disclose, but what did you do during that initial experience, that first experience where that 50-year-old lady was
Yeah. So from my case, I can actually tell the person or the incident, but I just disclose their identity.
Mm.
Yes, because I have to maintain my patient confidentiality.
Well, how
yeah.
did you do that?
So before I become the nursing assistant in the mental health hospital, I need to train. I went to like extensive, like almost 2 weeks training
Oh my.
how to deal with the
Oh,
suicide.
okay.
Yeah, with the suicide case. Yeah, and you want to know what exactly they do.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Did you like refer it to someone else?
Yes,
Oh,
because
okay.
from my training, what we have to do as an area and I'm still under the registered nurse, right? And every shift there will be the nurse leader.
Mhm.
So I said to the person, can you maintain your own safety just for now? I will be right back to you. Because the nursing station is only like 30 seconds away, right? And then I just talked to my nurse leader. I said that blah blah blah, lady 50 years old, she's suicidal at the moment. She cannot guarantee her own safety. And I just tell her that, so I'll be with the person now. So the nurse leader needs to call the doctor immediately to evaluate the person's mental status, and there might be some medications that would calm the person down. So that's her duty. But for my duty, I just sit with the person. Talk to her like what has been happening in your life. Can you tell me a bit more? And she reviewed the whole history of her life basically. At first she was a very like effective, efficient working woman. She's looking after her dad who just passed away just a year or two. And then it seems to me that her dad was the only one coping strategy for her.
Right.
It's just like he was the person she always seeks supports, even she has her own family. And then the reason that she can't really end her life because she's still worried about her daughters, her sons, and also the grandchildren. Yes. But then when her coping strategy is gone, right, that's her dad, she started to abusing herself with alcohol and drugs. She can start from marijuana and then escalate to ice and other strategy and other things, you know. And then she started to use like alcohol and stuff. And then they're actually like the sons was the previous patients in that ward as well. These are the mental health is actually some runs in her families with mental health issues. Yes. Basically summarize, I sit there with the person, wait until the doctor comes. They can put the doctor gave her some diazepam, which is to relieve the stress and anxiety, and put her to bed. And then we have to search the room, everything, any like clothes, her bags, her bed sheets. She couldn't even keep the bed sheets. We take everything that she can, like potentially harm herself again. That was my duty. We wait, and then every patient on the ward, they will have like a care level, from care level 1 to care level 5. Care level 5 is check them in every 2 hours. But for her, from care level 3, which is checked every 30 minutes, change to care level 1, which the nurse have to like away like just one arm length. Even if they go to the toilet, you need to open the door, let them finish the business. But it needs to be one arm length all the time. Can you imagine that? 24 hours, even when they sleep, you need to sit and watch. Yes, you need to sit and watch. You can't sleep. That's how it works in the mental health hospital.
Right.
And if she gets better, they will change from care level 1 to care level 2, which is every 15 minutes. And then to care level 3 every 30 minutes. But it depends on the mental state of the person. Yes.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
I just wonder because there are many levels. I don't know, like of the scenarios can be different.
Yeah.
Like if you have heard somebody just mention that they want to commit suicide, but in which level that you should decide to call to the hospital or to call to 1623 because I don't know, like you have to find that like he or she is serious about it
Yeah.
first or how, because like if she just mentioned it and then you call the hospital and then he or she might not feel that like you're trustworthy.
From my experience, if anyone mentioned about suicide,
No.
they want, and we also have to have some examinations, right? We talk about it. Is it just a joke? Is she making a joke? Like some people just make a joke, like, oh, they just want to die, so I don't have to worry about this shit about my life, right? But if you talk to them just like for 5 minutes, I think you can tell the difference. But for me, it's better to be with the person first, just to confirm, right? It's better than just leave them. Like, okay, she will be alright, but what if she's not? It's better, yeah. Just to talk to them, evaluate whether she's really serious about it. Just keep talking to them. It's better to be with the person than to ignore a person. Anything else on these issues?
Ben, if you have questions, you let us know.
But
Yeah, sure, will do.
you mute
Okay.
yourself.
No.
It's just
Can you hear well, though?
Not too bad, about 80%.
can you hear Pan?
Yeah, still okay.
That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only.
Okay.
Here, everything.
Yes. Okay. All right. So from mental health, right? You can see that I just want to emphasize again. Mental health ranging in continuum, right? Some day you may feel like you're in the green zone, and some day, shitty days, you might feel yourself in the orange zone. Just look after yourself first. Prioritize your own mental health first. Okay. Just ask for help. Use your coping strategies. If you feel like okay, eating is not helping me, how about I calling a friend, someone that you can trust, just to just talk about it. It might help you like to feel better. Okay, right. So next section is about mental disorders. I might not be able to cover every mental disorder because there's so many. I'm just gonna talk to you like the most common one. So the first one is trauma. Trauma is actually like exposure to or witnessing directly or this secondary trauma they call when you're witnessing someone being abused to all forms of abuse, like from physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, and all forms of violence. That's what we call trauma. And common trauma is PTSD. You might have heard of it. Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, that is just an example of trauma. I'll give you an example of PTSD. One day, I was driving with my boyfriend, for example, and then it was an accident. He died from a car accident. Right? He was a car from a car accident, but I'm the survivor of the accident. If I develop, I'm at a high risk of in developing PTSD. And then if the events already passed, probably like years and years, but if I see the car, the same colors or the same place, it would trigger me, like maybe flashback to that incident again. Yes, I might have developed like nightmares. I even have a panic attack to that incident. It would depend on the person. What I want to mention about PTSD is that they have a higher risk in developing other mental disorders on top of the trauma that they have. For example, like anxiety, panic attacks, and other affective disorders such as depressions. I might be able to drive a car again because like driving a car reminds me of that accident, or be around the car reminds me of that accident. So in this case, the treatment is usually seeing a clinical psychologist. They call like exposure therapy. If someone's scared of the snakes, right, they would start from a picture of the snake. The clinical psychologist would start with showing the picture of the snake to the client first, and then they would change to like a video about snakes, and then it would change to how about we go to the zoo and see the snakes. This is what the common treatment for the PTSD, but it's out of the scope. I just give you like just some sort of like example.
Like I've heard about a case that she called it Putakuto, So the girl was like, she is daddy's girl, like she loved her dad very much and she looked up to her dad very much, and it happened 10 years ago that she saw her dad's like how do you call it, like รับเบิ่งหมู่อาบน้ำหมู่เรา so her friend came for a sleepover and she was taking a shower and her dad was like looking through the hole, sneaking and to see her friend and that was like a trauma for her until now, and every time that she sees her dad she feel disgraced, and she even developed into the level that she wanted to commit suicide. That's what she said, that she doesn't want to live anymore because like seeing her dad, it should be like a feeling that, you know, like seeing someone you love, your dad, your parents should be like a home for you, but not anymore, and it happened for like 10 years. So it can be something like Pan say, not really like you experience it directly, but it can witnessing it.
Like a kids witnessing parents like some sort of like physical domestic violence, for example. It's actually the kids were traumatized by that influence, and they are at a high risk to developing other mental illness. But I'm not saying that everyone who witness a trauma would develop a mental illness. It just like increase the risk, and for the kids and anyone as well. It's just like any stimulus that remind them of that incident would bring them the flashbacks. They might have nightmares.
It can be even like words.
It can be even like words. For that person, it can be anyone who was wearing the same shirt as her dad on that day, or anyone that looks like her dad can actually be like the stimulus that cause that flashback again. Yes. Okay, game time. In pair, please. Before we move into I can. And in pairs, yes. In pair, please. One this line and the other one the other line. Before we move to another mental disorder. Yes. It's just like a game, basically.
Right.
You can pair. You want to pair with me?
I don't mind.
Yeah, I'll pair with you.
Okay. Alright. Yes. Okay. Yes. And you still do that? And no. One of you
Then find
here.
a partner.
One of you here. Yes. You need to
Thank you.
from your pairs.
Oh, okay.
You need to face
Oh.
our
A partner.
Yes.
Oh,
Face the
okay.
partner. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Your jaw. You stand still.
Right.
Or you can do any reactions. Okay. Just
No
be there.
reaction.
No reaction.
reaction and
But people in this role, you have to pretend to be the person to scare them the most, as much as you can. You can pretend to be like a lion or anything, just to threaten them, to make them scared. I want you to make it like real, okay? No smile.
pretend to be her ex.
You can't pretend like someone that you hate. What you want to do with them.
But we cannot show any expression.
You can show any expressions,
Okay.
but
Well,
just
I don't
don't
like-
punch me.
This is
Wait,
not
wait, wait, I cannot.
I don't like this game.
I can. Yeah, I
You
can.
you want to swap
Yeah,
the
let's switch.
position?
Why?
He doesn't want to do it. Okay. Okay.
You need to
scare me.
Yes, I need to scare you. Okay, you know your roles, right? Just pretend.
Can we
someone-
look somewhere else? Like,
You can look somewhere else, like for you, but for us, you have to threaten them.
Okay.
You need to make them scared.
Alright.
Okay?
Oh
You ready?
Are you okay?
So it has to be aggressive, yeah?
Yes, you need to be aggressive. You can do anything. I can do an
Can you
example. No, you can't touch. Don't touch.
Don't touch.
So
Don't
no,
touch
no
my
laughing,
touch.
no smiling either, right?
I'll do
No,
do
no.
example.
You
Guys,
discuss,
this is
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
examples, right?
I'm sorry, Michael.
That's scary.
I'm sorry, let me see you soon.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Oh my god.
He's already scared.
You're scared
No,
all
I'm
the
not
time.
gonna show.
Okay. All right.
Bring it.
What are you looking at me? You wanna fight? You wanna fight? Like this.
Oh.
Oh no. Did you scared? I'm very fragile for me.
Let's read the reflection later. Let's do
Okay,
this
alright.
exercise first. Yes, you know what to do. You know what to do.
Were you scared? Okay.
No, let's do it later.
Reflect it later.
ตายแล้ว Why am I
Oh.
paired with him?
Alright,
Some
so
moments when you ready. You ready? You guys ready? Count 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
I told you. Why do you do this to me? It's not fair. Why are you stealing my money? Tell me! Why you keep silent? Oh.
We got scared. We got scared.
Oh my god!
Ow!
Did we scare
Ow!
that?
Wait, can I swear?
You can.
Yeah,
Oh
tell
my
my mama
God.
why you steal my money?
You know what? I'm just afraid that I will go too far. Like, I don't know.
Oh.
It's okay. Just use your energy
Just-
and
But I
take
had
care of
my-
my whole.
Are we gonna switch
Yes.
roles?
Don't
You're
take
like-
it personally.
Are we switching
Express
roles?
it.
Yeah.
No, you
But you
switch
keep
the
that
role.
for it.
You
Like,
already.
the feeling for me.
I valid myself.
You can do to other people.
I don't think I can do
Maybe
it.
your mom called the
Yeah.
police because she heard.
I'm doing the Oscars. You
Exactly.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it, to be honest.
Sure.
It's okay. It's
Okay.
okay. You
Your
don't
own way.
any ways, any possible ways. Just you're gonna red hand them. Yeah.
Oh, you
Make
fucking idiot. You think you're better than me? You fucking not. Okay? Look at your fucking self. You can't compare to me. Okay, look into my face. Okay? You're just so stupid. And don't ever come to me. Because I'm not worth it. Okay? You're not worth it. I'm so much better than you. Okay? I deserve so much better. So get the fuck off. Don't let me ever see your face again. Go.
Oh.
my God.
Oh my god!
So guys,
We are proud of you.
guys, the
I was
internet
imagining you
Oh,
doing
see
something
the
else.
sign.
How you
side.
sound-
I can't do that. I can't.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Am I
Oh
good?
my God, it's so good. I was like, oh my gosh.
Don't ever.
So
It's okay.
don't take it personally.
Don't
Just
No,
take
I took it personally.
Yes. So let's do some reflections.
Oh, yeah.
Some reflections. Okay. The one who was present. Yes. How do you feel? How do you feel? Start from eyebrow first.
I think like because like this is not the image that I get from you or the feeling that I get from you. I feel like what's wrong? What happened? You know,
Yeah.
even if it was acting, it was like you still like feel like you don't feel comfortable about that. And you don't want to look in the eyes. I tried to look at the eyes, but like at the end I was like, I don't know, I don't want to look at the eyes anymore. Like, that's yeah.
Yes.
You feel very
You
uncomfortable
want
because
to escape it or not, or you want to fight me back?
not fighting back, but like maybe how you
If I
come
were a
down.
guy, for example, if I were a guy, would you punch me?
I wouldn't punch, but I would.
Sorry, can you do it again?
No, I was
Oh.
saying that like you know
Saying.
I have the image of her since I know her like this is the second time, you know, and like her change of behavior, you feel like what's going on, and even if it was acting, and she was looking at my eyes. First, I was looking at her eyes, but at the end, I was like, I don't want to look at her eyes. And yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't punch, but I would wait until you calm down, maybe,
Oh.
and stop.
Okay.
I wouldn't back or run away,
You
but
wouldn't back off as well. You
Yeah,
didn't
we
try
just
to
like-
escape me as well. You,
No.
You didn't try to escape from me.
no, but like
a
just
step back, a simple step. No.
no, but like just stand and like
Okay.
wait, what's going on?
Okay.
Maybe I'm not yet
Are you alright?
get it. But
No,
It's traumatized.
no, I think it's in here. I think.
Just think
I'm-
of it as like acting class, you
Yes,
know,
so-
guys. Acting class.
Now,
Like
if you
nothing
see
personal.
You
Christina
feel
with
in
glasses,
character, don't worry.
you will be.
I am.
It's gonna be trauma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, that's very good. How about you?
But,
Kiss Bali, how do you feel?
I can
Um,
contribute.
yeah,
Yes,
I
I
mean,
can. I can.
Yes, yes,
see.
yes, yes.
It's-
both of us.
yeah, all of
How
us
do you feel?
because
Yeah.
we are
How
being
did you
threatened
feel?
by him. No, the thing is, I try to
act differently because I've seen you and I knew that you try and avoid the eye contact, but I try. So maybe you notice that I haven't looked down and I just keep looking into your eyes because I think first because I felt confused at first because I was sure that I didn't do anything wrong. So I think deep down in my mind I want to look into his eyes and trying to think about what I did wrong to him. And if in the real situation, I think I would try to ask.
Did you want to fight back? If it wasn't Dui who you know, if it's a stranger's coming to you, would you fight back or would you escape?
I think
Or
I'll
you
walk
just
away.
standing there?
I'll
You-
walk
you
away.
walk away.
I'll just walk away.
Okay.
But if it's someone that I hate, I might this is for real.
Okay. Alright, how about you, Michael?
Responding to, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, to him.
Oh shoot, and Dui, yes, I
I
think you
got like goosebumps.
Yeah.
You were just to give
I didn't expect the moment that he shouted.
Yeah.
That he was like trying to destroy things.
Give my money.
I was worried about my water.
I don't touch my
Okay,
I'm
right.
joking.
Yes, okay, Michael.
She
Even like by Dui or by Anna?
both.
I think seemed very real. So I felt like this.
How do you,
My
It was-
house is
it was-
really fast.
Yes, at that moment.
at
Because
that
it was like,
moment, do you want to fight back or you want to escape? Or you just want to stand there? You feel, even if he were like different, like stranger to you, and just confront you with that reaction, how would you react back?
it's hard to be in. I mean, well, I wasn't in that, so I was just standing by and looking. So how would I react to that?
Maybe it's because he wasn't confronting you.
Yes.
How about Anna? She was directly supporting you. Yes.
Yes.
What would be your reaction? You want to swap back to her?
I was like, oh, where are you coming from?
You feel like you want to
Like-
escape? Do you want to ignore her or you want to swear back at her?
I mean, it depends on who she is to me. And I mean, if she's someone that I'm gonna have to see and live with, or like be around often and see her, then I would be like, oh, where are you coming from? Can we hash this out?
How about if she was your enemy?
If she was
Someone
my,
that you really
if she was my enemy, then
What would you do? Punch me?
no, I'm
It's just like you disengage.
Um,
You disengage.
so
Expose on Facebook. Punch me.
With a soft tone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
Imagine.
if she's my enemy, then it wouldn't even matter to me. I'd be like, okay, like why am I even carrying this
So they try to
situation?
ignore it.
I would just disengage, right?
That's
Alright.
really smart. Yes.
How about the person who traumatized him? Starting from Dui, please.
Yes.
Hi Dui, how do you feel?
Why do you bring out all this?
Yeah, what is this money?
It was really
What is money go from?
No, actually, I was confused. You know, what should I be angry about?
Yes.
Right. So you know, I had nothing to be
So we
angry.
both were confused.
Yeah. So that's why I try to you know like boost up all my energy
Yeah.
to feel like she's the one that I hate the most, but
Mm.
no any specific reason.
Yeah.
So that's why you know I was stumbling. Oh, what should I say? For example, but I try to use my physical reaction because that's
yeah.
my reality. When I'm angry, I will keep silent. So there's no like vocal reaction from me, but there will be like kinds of physical. My body, my face will get red, and then my body will be shaking. Just like
Yeah.
cannot even like interpret into words. And when I'm angry and I'm angry, so that's how I feel. It's
What
like
if you swap the position with Wally?
I will just punch her.
You punch.
Yeah.
You punch.
I will not say anything. I will not say anything. I will just.
Alright.
Listen, yeah, I can feel that you will do that.
You can feel that. Right.
Have you ever done this to anyone, you guys?
Punching one.
So like, I have this kind of,
I have.
to be in this kind of situation and you are the one.
I have.
You wouldn't imagine. Almost similar to Dui.
Very.
Yes. Yes. How about
Sorry.
you, Anna?
I feel really bad. Like,
No, what if you swap the position with Michael? If
wow, I
someone
feel
would-
terrible. I feel
No,
terrible.
would you react that? Would you swap back?
No, I think I would just be shocked.
Just be shocked.
Like, this person is calling me an idiot. Like, I'm not worth it. Like, trying to bring me down, basically. So, I would just be shocked.
You
And
want- you
like
want
you
fight
said,
back, and you want to walk away.
it depends on like our relationship though.
Mm.
If that's my boyfriend telling me that, oh yeah, I'll
Yeah.
stand up for myself.
Uh-huh.
But
What if it's other? What if it's me? It was me.
Oh.
We have a big argument. What do you think? What would be your reaction?
I think I would just similar to him, like and her, like and him. Like try to like okay, just listen to you. And then when you calm down I'll just be like, okay, so where is this coming from? Like well, what's going on? Yeah.
Okay, so there's a purpose behind this experiment. Is your natural response to a threat. As Tui said, you would fight, you would punch her. That is your fight response. If you perceive something as a threat to you, you would fight back, right? And as Michael, I think you just freeze. You just like calm, standing there. Maybe if it was like a tiger in front of you, you'd probably run away, isn't it?
No, I think he would just stand there.
Oh, cute cat.
And smile at the tiger.
And Facebook.
It's okay because different. You will see. You see. For example, if you freezing type, right? How about you, Anna? You seem like to be the freezing type.
I think
When
it
you
really
perceive something
depends.
as a threat,
As a
depends.
threat.
Yeah.
It really depends. I can't really say that I will freeze or I will respond back. It really depends on my relationship with that particular person.
Yeah. This is very situational.
But
It's
when
not like 100% accurate.
when he was shouting and I wanted to calm them. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
because
you want
it's
to
also
calm. You want to
yeah, I
calm.
wanted
him
to
down.
calm, like, oh stop, or like,
Yeah.
don't do that.
But you don't want to hurt him.
No, but like just stopping him or why are you doing that in front of me? I don't want to hear that or I don't want to.
Yeah.
But like not to punch him, but like oh, just to separate and like, scaring that it might be into like physical.
Yeah. Like it looks like it has tendency to become physical,
Mm.
right? When you like,
But
doing that.
still, you wasn't the victim.
Yeah.
That's why.
How about you said you standing and you don't know what to do? When it was confronting you, you said?
I was confused. I was not
Confused.
scared, but I was confused.
Yes.
But
What if like there is another guy, strangers,
What
you
if-
know, who want to pick a fight
what
with
if
you?
Dewey would
Would
do
you
that to
fight
you?
back or
And
would you
Dewey said
ignore
you would
them or
touch
you just like
something.
standing there?
I think I will just ignore and go
Yes.
go somewhere else and
It's kind of a flight.
yeah,
If
I
like
would do that.
you would run away from the threat, right? Potentially there's a tiger. If it was a tiger, I would run away. But some people they would freeze because they're so scared. So how about you, Wally? You said it depends as well.
Like Anna. If it was Tui for real, then I would try to ask him.
Yeah,
Like,
but you
can
said
you calm
that
down?
if it was your enemy,
I will fight back.
That
And
is
if there's
kind of
someone that I
fight.
don't know, I'll just like walk away.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of like
Yes.
a fight or flight, right?
Mm.
This is our natural reactions to a threat. Anything that we perceive as a threat, it can be either fight, like Tui, like you know a threat, I will punch you back, like that. It can be a flight. It can be like you guys depend on the situations, right? If you're someone you know, you might fight back, ignore them. But if you're enemy, you would fight back. That's your natural reaction as well. And from Michael, it would depend, right? It's very situational. But you can be like the freeze type. Like imagine something that very scared you, just like in front of you. Would you run away? For example, if someone in here like scared of spider, would you like this, or you just like run away or you just freeze? You know, these are natural reactions, and it's also like I just want you guys to know your natural reactions. And I was laughing.
You were.
No, I'm the laughing type.
Oh,
I just laugh. You know, when I was scared, I just laugh. When I scared like shit, I was laughing because he makes me really scared.
Me too.
I was like, it's not,
I have to leave because
it's not because like it's funny thing, but because it was scared. That's my reaction. I just laugh and freeze. Yes. So thank you very much for listening. Yeah, it's like an experiment.
Ben
Ben understood that?
Yeah, and when I was on the ward, when there was a patient who verbally abused me, I kind of knocked it out. And it actually makes her more angry. But because I'm so scared, I just laughed and I didn't try to escape her. I didn't run away, but I was laughing. I was laughing.
Yeah,
And
I was
she-
thinking when you were saying that
Yeah.
it seemed really, really dangerous. When people are angry and then they heard someone say, they might turn to you and punch you.
Yes, it was literally me. What she did with that was laughing.
Can you imagine if they pair up? If you guys pair up?
Oh no!
I would be laughing.
One more round.
No, it would be different because I've seen
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So the experiment is to just to know your natural response to a threat. Anything that can be a threat. Yes. Back to you, see.
Sorry.
What I want.
Let's switch.
That's reaction.
แอนนามันนั่งนี่กันได้แอนนาแอนนามันนั่งนี่กันได้มันนุ่มกว่า
That reaction is what
Yeah.
people diagnose with generalized anxiety or just a anxiety feel when they perceive something as a threat to them. It can be like a threat to their physical health. It can be a threat for their identity. You know, like I would give an example of like social phobia. Social phobia. They perceive social gathering, all forms of social gathering as a threat, right? What do you think would be their reactions, their behaviors?
Social phobias?
Yeah.
If they are in the middle of the crowd, you mean?
Yes, yeah, you're in the middle of the crowd, or someone say hi to you, look at these memes. Hey, and you this reaction like, oh, you're
Ignore.
totally
Like
fixing
fixing
a-
ignore, like just like be.
or avoid I mean
Maybe the
It
big
depends
first
on their
yeah.
initial response. They can just walk away. They can just freeze over there, or they can choose to, like walk away to different directions. But I just want to emphasize that it's not just a physical thing. They actually person with social anxiety, they would perceive talking to other people as a threat, and it being studied that their reactions. For example, if I'm going to go to a party, if I diagnose or I have social anxiety, right, I would rehearse my conversation. I would rehearse so I don't appear as a fool at the party. I would rehearse, okay, if this person talks to me, what would I do? Okay, I should say this, I should say that. I should say something that they like. I should keep the conversation going on. You know, they would rehearse. These are called their safety behaviors. They actually prepare things at home, right? But this is social anxiety. But with generalized anxiety, with other forms of anxiety, one thing they have in common is they fear of something bad will happen. Something bad will happen. They actually overthinking. You know, they're overthinking that something bad will happen, and they live in that constant fear. And that constant, like fight, freeze, or laugh response every time that perceive a threat to them. This is how anxiety looks like. So the aim of the experiment is for you to feel that. If you were, someone with anxiety like this, you will feel like that, like constantly. Yes. Yes, Michael.
So laughing is a form of flight?
No, it's actually a separate category.
Oh,
Yeah, flight
Yeah.
is very common in nursing. Like I asked my nursing educator, they said they also laugh. Some people also laugh. Some people choose to walk away. Like if I were confronted with Tui, right? In that situation, I would walk away immediately.
can
Right.
be
But for me, I just stand there and laugh.
yeah so it means it's freeze no because you cannot kind of like
Kind
move
of, yeah, but it's similar to freeze as well, but you just laugh. It's kind of actually laughing at someone who's angry at you actually trigger them even more.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
for me now, I don't know, like if I was in your situation, shouting at anybody like that, and I would cry at the same time. I'm pretty sure about that. And I don't know, maybe I have never put myself in the situation that I am like very scared.
Yeah.
I think I would cry. And
It can be different. It's not just like we just categorize the main three, like freeze, flight, and flight. So, but there are many more. It really depends on the person. Yes, but just give you the sense, like the person with anxiety, when they perceive a threat, they will feel like that almost every time.
I see.
Yeah.
So anxiety is very common as well. In Australia, 1 in 4 person would diagnose with anxiety. So that is very common. Yeah. And even I'm giving speech, we feel anxious. This is normal reactions. Because out of this, I'm just like normal parent, right? We all experience some kind of depressed and anxious to some different levels, different intensity. But the person with mental illness is at extreme side, and they can't really functioning normally. Imagine that I have social phobia. The parties probably start at 9. I'm still rehearsing until I make sure that I won't be like a fool at the party. Just live with that. Yeah. So it's just like anxiety is about. Next one is psychosis. Psychosis, example of the psychosis would be schizophrenia. You probably might have heard about this word already. It's a very severe mental illness which need a lifelong treatment. Yeah, need to be followed by the team almost all their lifetime. Yeah. So it's just like the sense of out of touch with reality. They might perceive something that is so real to them, but normal people won't see it. And they might hear some voices, but you guys like us, we don't hear that voices. It's become very problematic because that hallucinations, perceive something without any obvious stimuli, it's really very problematic. What if that voice is commanding me to kill someone? But because I believe that is so real, to me, what if that voice is telling me that if you don't kill him, he will kill you first? And it's happened. The person with the voices, hearing voices on how much we try to kill the other person because the voice telling him to, they call it command hallucination. The voice commanding you to do something. And it can be a negative voices as well, like you're worthless. You have this voice. My patients also name the voice as Jeremy, for example. Jeremy telling me that I'm worthless. No one's really looking after you like that. No one's really don't care about you. Don't take that medication. You won't get better. It can be also the voices, but often it's negative side. And they might experience some delusions. Delusions mean like a false fixed belief, despite the evidence saying the contrary. For example, if I have false fixed belief that when I watch the news, right, for you guys, you're just like watching the news, but I believe that reporter is giving me the message to do something. She's giving me the message that I can save the world, for example. This is they call the idea of reference. Like you sound like very ordinary, like surroundings or events, and have special meaning to you directly. Yeah, delusions. Or they can have like a belief that the water is poisoning. Yeah, it's poisonous. The voice also confirming that. So I would drink that water. What would happen if you don't drink water for more than a day? They start to dehydrated. Their blood pressure goes down. And I witnessed the person as well. They don't drink the water. They don't shower because they believe that the water in the hospital is poisonous.
What if it's wine?
Can you cope with that? Like you put syrup, it's not water, it's like syrup or you make like Italian soda, it's like
It could be
water.
different. Yes, it could be
I'll use that
different.
trick.
And it
Like,
really
whenever I
depends on
wanna
the
drink
person as well. But
Juice.
it's
The
very
water is
severe.
poisonous.
Yeah,
I'm
schizophrenia
gonna
is
drink
very
beer.
severe.
Getting
If,
scared.
and they tend to live in the hospital as well. They can't really go outside. But I mean, they can try. I mean, if they get better, if it's well controlled with medications. But if the person with schizophrenia, they don't take the medications like properly or miss the doses, it can relapse. The symptoms coming back and like getting worse. Usually getting worse when the symptoms relapse. Yeah.
So
This is the schizophrenia.
you mean like you cannot heal it?
You can, I mean, like I wouldn't say that you can't. There's no treatment at the moment that can get rid of schizophrenia completely, but it is well controlled. like you and me, we can just live our life just with medications, for example, for schizophrenia and some therapy as well.
So meaning that you
Just
can
saying
hear
that-
still the voices?
Yeah, you still can hear the voices,
Be
but
more
you
conscious.
can learn some strategies or coping strategies to deal with the voices.
Mhm.
There's a very well known TED talk. The person with schizophrenia, but she's a doctor. She's a psychiatrist. This
And
is
she
a
has
proof-
schizophrenia.
Yeah, she has, and still having schizophrenia. She's a proof to us that a person with mental illness can live in a society and function normally like other people.
Mm.
It just need to have some treatment,
Mm.
take the medications, go to the counseling sessions, visit a clinical psychologist to equip with the skills that can live, just normal just live normally and functionally. Yeah. So yeah, she's a proof. I'll try to find that TED talk and send it to the group. So
I
let's
got
talk.
a quick question, Brian.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, in terms of like treatment for mental illnesses, like with people, for people with like schizophrenia and maybe some more severe mental illnesses,
Yeah.
are there any like side effects for the medication that they take?
Yeah.
And do psychologists or psychiatrists do they recommend more of a natural way for a cure or healing, or does that mean that they have to build a bit more of a mental strength in that sense to kind of overcome the mental illness, or does it have to be only through medication that they can find complete healing or a cure?
Yeah. So is it correctly? And I understand correctly. You mentioned that isn't the medications like the only way that can solve like the problems with mental illness?
Yeah, that's right. So is medication the only way to cure mental illness? And is there side effects of using too much of this medication on a daily basis?
Yeah. We will go through the intervention soon, but I'll just answer you now just really briefly. Every mental illness, they wouldn't start the patients with medications directly. They would try with non-pharmacology interventions first. They would recommend the person to seek help from the clinical psychologist so they can develop some strategies to deal with that mental illness. And then if these strategies, their self-care, their coping strategies are not working or are not effective, then they have to add the medications. They will start at a lower dose first and see how the patients react to that. If not, if it's that dose still not working or cannot really eliminate that symptoms, they might have to add another dose. This is a very common practice, but they won't start the person with the dose directly. They will try to wean the medications, and it's actually more like self-management. You need to people with mental illness need to use their strategies. Need to have a reliable support system first. Yeah. So the medication is not there's no magic pill to cure mental illness. It's just some add-ons. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we will go through the intervention after.
Yeah.
So I can explain more about that, but this is just a brief answer. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries. So next one, because major depression is so common. In Australia, 1 in 5 were diagnosed with depressions, and it's very debilitating because they can end their life by suicide. That's what the difference between anxiety and depression. Anxiety is more common, but it's not as lethal as depression. So what I want to say next is a holistic understanding of major depression. Major depression is not something just come up naturally. There's no genes. It doesn't cause by any environmental factors or genetics alone. It's actually a combination of biology, psychology, and social factors that contribute to major depressions, and also to other illness as well, other mental illness as well. So when we think of an illness, it's not just the genes or the person born with it, right? It's many contributing factors together. So let's first talk about major depressions. In terms of biology, they speculate that neurochemical imbalances, especially the imbalance of serotonin, noradrenaline, and dopamine, which responsible for your sleep and awake circle, your concentrations, your energy. they said that, okay, part of the depressions from biology side is actually neurochemical imbalances. And the next one is actually nature, and nurture. Nature is something that you're born with, which is genetics, right? And nurture is like you grow, your environment. So in major depressions, when the mother might develop some kind of infections, they might use drugs and alcohols, or use other forms, ineffective coping strategies, or even stress during pregnancy can play some part to major depressions, but not all. And also the environment, poor socioeconomic status in the country or in family, they might not be able to afford to, themselves to seek help in terms of their mental health. For example, it just play a part. And some maltreatment during childhood, someone who witnessed their parents some domestic violence, for example, or they were sexually abused at young age, might contribute to major depression. It doesn't mean that when you were treated badly during your childhood, it doesn't mean that you will have depression. It's just increasing the risk. The risk of developing major depression. Same as when your mother has some kind of infections, right? When she
was pregnant.
It doesn't mean that you will develop depressions 100%. It's only play a part. It's only risk factors. Okay, this is the biology. The next one is psychological factors. For example, overstressing of negative. Someone who's very pessimistic or contribute everything, any failures, because of them, they don't have the strength and they think that they are the failure, tend to have at a high risk in developing depressions because they can't really see their achievements. They only see their failures, right? Someone who's very low self-esteem, or someone who's lack of personal goals, or always internalize all the blame to himself, always attribute all the failures to himself. And these are just some factors, psychological factors. How about socio-cultural factors? Losses, the death of a loved one, or even a breakdown of a meaningful relationship. It's only a trigger. It doesn't mean that if I lost my loved one, I would develop depressions directly. It's not. The person might experience some depressive episodes, but not depressions. We need to take into account their biology, their psychology, also their social factors, and also their coping strategies and their support system. Right? This is just the risk factor.
What about culture?
The what? Culture.
Culture, yeah.
Yes, the culture that we are living now. What do you think? Do we really talk about mental health in Laos?
No, you cannot be vulnerable in front of society or something like that.
No, I mean for the cultural factors, it's more like how the culture perceives mental health. For example, if you compare to Western countries, they might open a bit more about mental health, but still limited. But compared to Laos, what do you think?
It's just like ผีเข้า or some kinds of superstitious thing.
When someone hearing voices, right, they might have schizophrenia, but now people said, how do you call ผีเข้า in Lao?
Being possessed.
I don't know.
Possessed,
yeah.
By ghosts.
By
You know, like in
spirit.
Laos, when someone hearing
Ben.
voices,
Ben.
or have some visual,
Call Ben.
or seeing some visual hallucination.
Right.
And Lao people, the village, mostly say that, they're possessed by ghosts.
Yeah.
See, its culture play a part in this as well. Yeah, that's
It's like the
excellent
vibe from the
example.
past life came, followed you to get
Yeah.
you with
Yeah.
her or something like
That's
that.
right.
Your wife from the past life.
Yeah.
Globally, which, I don't know if you know this, but I'm asking, which country, or if there is a country that's most accepting of these kinds of things you're talking about?
Statistically, I don't know.
Okay.
Statistically, I don't know.
So
I can say
globally
in Australia, people, even though they equip themselves with many mental health resources, they have hospital, they have psychologists, psychiatrists, they have training. They can train people to be psychologists, right, or clinical psychologists, but they still not really open about mental health. Not every family in Australia will talk about mental health, but some people can be very open-minded and talk about this thing, right? But it's really, I can't say directly which one accept mental health the most. Or more open-minded. I can't say it. I can only say to the country that I live in Australia or in Laos. In Laos, I don't think many people want to talk about mental health, or even when they are stressed or depressed.
because we tend to perceive these as a failure. Someone who's weak, you are just a loser, something like that. Yes, this is just my perspective.
And also
How about you guys?
Yeah,
How about
just
you guys?
to add on that, I
Mhm.
feel like from cultural perspective, it's like some cultures or some societies they believe that you don't have to tell everybody your stories. Like deal with it yourself.
Mhm.
Get over it. Like you said, it
It's in your
like
head. Get
yeah,
over
exactly.
it,
It's like
and
men
you want to
shouldn't
experience
cry.
it.
Yeah, men shouldn't cry. Men shouldn't have mental illnesses. Some toxic culture stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't have to be. I feel like it really depends on the family and also the community they're in. Even though they're in the same country, some parts or some society or some communities they're probably more open to this type of issue, but some it's just not. Like in Australia, it's really hard to say because it's really multicultural.
Yeah.
It's really
Right.
multicultural. So, for example, like my boyfriend's family, so his mom is Asian and his dad is European. So the way they see this issue is really different. So his dad openly talked about it, openly talked about his problem, but his mom tend to keep it to herself. She doesn't want people to see that she's weak. Especially being a mom. She wants to be strong, in the eyes of her children.
Yeah, that's a very good example as well. And so yeah, I can't really rule out like which one like open about mental health the most in the world.
其实我也
Anyone want to share anything else?
I think awareness is also very important because like in Laos we are not very fully aware in terms of the mental health. For example, it happens to someone who is not very like well educated and exposed into this kind of mental health matters, and then they will feel like kinds of confusing things in their minds and they don't even know exactly that it's the mental health problem. So that's also something that we are facing
Something
here
I
now.
often hear to like get over it.
Yeah.
Everyone experiencing
Exactly.
it,
Life
Just ups and downs.
sucks.
Yeah, life
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
Just get over it.
And we are also not very sure, like until what level that it's caused into like the mental issue that we have to go directly into the medication, for example.
I've heard like some even worse scenario these days from the social media. I think it's a modern day things as well. Like people tend to take mental illness like depression as a joke.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a joke.
Like for example, if you have seen a news of a person doing something that it's not a good choice,
Yeah.
then somebody will comment, he or she is having a depression or something like ประมาณนี้
Some
ค่ะ
even say that
แบบ
it's
เป็น
a
โรคซึมเศร้า
popular
อ่ะ
disease.
ใช่ไหมนะ
It's a what?
popular disease
It's a
or
popular
even
disease.
if somebody is a murderer, there's a news of a murderer and somebody will ask is he or she is having depression แบบคล้ายๆว่า it's not it can be a joke but it can be something that like build another
Bullying.
like
Norm.
Misinformation as
Mm.
well.
Yeah.
And it creates a stigma because they don't
Stigma
understand
negativity.
what
Oh, yeah,
is.
right.
Isn't it? Stigma comes from first stage of stigma is like misinformation.
Yeah, and also it like make people feel like this one is like it's like the disgusting thing that we should be open.
Yeah.
And
That
it
we are
spread just
facing
like
this kind
fake
of thing.
news.
Yeah.
It spread like very fast and
Yeah.
people tend to believe it.
yeah
One
Right.
person spread the misinformations about depressions, 100 persons believe
Right.
them.
Influence.
right
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's the cultural context very important. Stigma because they don't understand,
Yeah.
and then they start to believe in it. Like okay, depression is a joke.
Especially like information consumptor and consumptor they will just read and then they will just consume automatically
Yeah.
and it creates like kinds of fears and misunderstanding from consuming like the information.
and if I have a depression I wouldn't want to share it to anybody
Yeah.
That is the consequence of the stigma around mental health as well, because
Right.
it actually like put the person in the position that they don't want to seek help. They don't want to talk about it. It's just like, this is like you, right? They're standing there with depressions, and with that culture pressure and stigma, they jump to the hill. It's just like this.
I think that's why it's important to.
and I got a
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would say that personally, I think I'm quite positive and I'm not subject to too much like anxiety or feeling down. But the message that we are trying to do by being aware and also to spread the right information, thinking that this is right, it's also something that that helps ourselves, I guess.
Yes, Mr. Aim of กำลังใจ
Yeah.
Right, spread the awareness, spread the facts about mental illness. Yes. And then
No, yeah, I'm just, yeah. Basically, the point we're talking about stigma. I feel like some people who don't have mental illness, they normalize the word depressed. They don't really understand what it means. You know, I used to be like that too. I used the word depressed a lot. I didn't know what it meant back then. But then I talked to my boyfriend, and he's Australian, yeah. So I said, I feel so depressed. He's like, are you okay? Are you sure? Are you alright? Like, I was like, why making this such a big deal? And he's like, depressed is a really strong word. And I didn't know that. And I feel like a lot of people don't as well. Yeah, like I'm sad. That's different from depressed. So from that point on, I became more aware and then don't say it if I don't feel it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very good. That's very awesome, guys. Like I love this. I love this group. Yes, as we said, cultural factors are stigma, stigma, and stigma. No matter where you are in any countries, there's always stigma about mental health. So games again. Just
I'm scared of the game now.
Games are scary.
The game say,
you know, like-
go grab a knife.
games again. After this, we will go through the case study. Sam, you probably read it already.
Sam.
Yes. So myths and facts, debunk some myths and facts about depression. Depression is
right.
all in your head. Do you think it's a myth or a fact?
How do we?
Depressed is all in your head.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
It's a myth.
Depression is all in your head.
Myth.
Everyone agree? Myth?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's bio, psycho, and social.
That is the answer.
Good teachers. Good training.
You know what? It's actually really similar to the exercises in the course, in the EDX course.
Exactly.
They did it.
You took
You're very good. Yes.
And it cannot be physical.
When have you done?
Depression is not in all your head. As Michael said, it's involved many factors: biopsychological, social, cultural factors, even the family that you born and raised. Right? It's really depends on many factors. It's not just in your head, and it's a real disorder. It's not just something that people made it up.
Disorder or not?
Which one?
Disorder.
Disorder. That's like
ความผิดปกติ
ผิดปกติ
คนผิดปกติ
ควรผิดปกติ
ควรผิดปกติ
ความ
ผิดปกติ
Next one. The main symptoms of depressions are low mood and anhedonia. Anhedonia means lost interest in the activities that they used to enjoy. Presenting for at least 2 weeks. Is it myth or is it fact? Is it a myth or a fact? It's okay. We all learn it.
I think fact.
Facts?
Myths.
Myths? Yeah. Michael?
Facts.
Facts? How about you, Ben?
when we lost Ben.
See, she's
Ben, you follow?
Uh-oh. Someone's
okay.
been caught.
that's the bad student in the back.
Fact is a fact.
No, he has a slide. He has a slide.
Yeah. Oh yes, you got a slide. It's okay.
That was quick.
So everyone said it's a fact except I got a god. Why do you think it's a myth?
Because I think the last 2 weeks doesn't
At least 2
define
weeks.
if you have like the symptom of depression or not. It can be like throughout the year, and then I don't know, maybe 1 day or 2 days, and then I don't know. I think the time is not a factor. I mean, the intensity, the period would be I don't know how to explain it. Yeah.
Everyone thinks it's a fact. Yeah. You want to change your answers?
No.
I go with Korka, and that last part is kind of
Yeah.
left or right, but I'm going with sticking with my answer.
Yeah.
Anyone want to change the answers? Yeah. So
Take a risk.
and all facts.
Yeah, take a risk.
I'm not sure about my
Yeah.
answer, but I'll just go with fact.
With facts.
Yeah, because I think I'm sure about the symptoms, but I would say that 2 weeks are long enough to
Long enough,
observe.
it happens, consecutively,
Yeah.
You guys are like critical thinkers.
No, because like I don't know, when you lost someone, you can be in the sad mood for 2 weeks and not being depressed. Like
They say at
Alright, that's
least
so-
2
like-
weeks.
At least.
At least.
Yeah, at least.
So
Is that
like,
a normal,
more.
like a
Like feeling low mood and not interested. The activities that you do, or at least happening every day,
For at
consecutively
least.
for at least 2 weeks.
But
Are
the
these the
question-
main symptoms?
But the point is the main symptom
You want to look
No,
at the,
all.
depression.
you want to look at the DSM-5 again?
มันบ่มี there's no time
There's
span.
only two, like the
Oh,
first
2 week
two.
period.
the-
Where to be? Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
These are me
We
dying.
we were almost,
To be
We
proud.
don't even know when it's correct.
It's okay.
we were
but
about
you
to
point-
change
you point to a good
the
one
answer
as well.
now.
I thought would actually point a very good point.
Yeah.
It doesn't qualify the person that they have depression, but it advisable that they seek help to be diagnosed, you know. If they have this, some people, if they have these symptoms, the two symptoms for at least 2 weeks, if they pops up in a doctor's clinic, they might not develop depressions. For example, if
Yeah.
they just lost their loved one, or just have a breakdown, you know, like break up with the partners, they can have these symptoms for at least 2 weeks, but it doesn't qualify, always doesn't always qualify them for depressions.
Right.
But it's good to seek help if yourself or if you're witnessing someone who experienced this symptom for at least 2 weeks. Just help them, you know, to reach out and get help. It's better just to rule that out because the faster you help them, they can get treated. Yeah. Yes. Next one. Major
Then,
depression
next one.
is the primary reason why someone dies of suicide about every 12 minutes. Over 41,000 people a year. US.
Oh.
The numbers. The
Oh,
numbers
yeah.
is legit. I don't know.
Every 12 minutes.
Can we Google?
Every 12
No.
minutes.
Your reaction
Okay,
was
it's okay. It's okay.
when you take a quiz.
What do you think? We start our workshop what time?
Okay.
Like around 6 o'clock?
6:30.
6:30.
Oh
my
6:30.
God.
So it
I
means
used,
like
I
Ten
used,
people die.
I used to hear the
2
news
hours.
that you know
It'd be
people
like
with
2 hours.
depression and
How many?
10 people die already.
suicide themselves every 12 minutes, but I'm not sure about,
About
the
the-
number, like over
A
41,000.
year.
A year, no. A year it's
You mean
Since
like
we start the training, 10 people die already.
Oh,
US?
yeah.
In the US.
Yeah, the US.
I think it's
You
a
mean-
fact.
After this COVID thing.
It's gonna be
Fact.
more. Like
It's
every
going
10
to be
minutes.
more.
I did some calculations. I think it's fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think it's.
I would
Yeah,
say
I
like,
think so.
And
How about you? Anna?
Maybe it is
Because
because
I remember it's like
from the
6.3% or something. Oh,
from the from the
okay.
course that guy was saying
Uh-huh.
8 teenagers committed suicide per week in Australia.
Oh, I didn't remember that one. That would be easier to calculate.
We didn't remember it.
8 people per
8
week.
per
Oh,
week.
Australia.
Yeah, this one is
America,
every 12
population
minutes.
of Australia.
Mm.
That Australian statistic,
I
they
think
said
it's
that
the
in the
fact.
US.
But
These numbers from the US, do you think
Oh,
it's a
damn,
mix
this
of
is
facts?
hard. I'll just go with fact.
Facts?
Someone then,
Yeah.
not
What do you think?
specifically for teenagers. I think it's the fact.
We all agree it's a fact?
I go for meat.
It's why?
Because the numbers is
It's busted.
no, but
Is it
maybe
is it too many or is too little?
not too many. But yeah, but maybe it's right. That's why, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So myths or facts?
I will go for meat.
Me. You think that is too many?
Too many. Yeah.
Too many?
No.
You guys ready?
Barbie, Ben, what do you say?
Ben, vote for me.
Don't see the answers.
I'll change the answer
The
So do you want to change to a
Myth.
myth? A myth?
because I do not want to commit with number.
I mean, can be 40,000.
I think it's too much now.
Oh no.
41,000
minutes.
only
Like 10
only
people.
for depression. That
10 people already died since we
Oh.
started the workshop.
Oh my gosh.
That's like faster than coronavirus.
Which year is this?
With this given information.
Ah.
What do you think with this information? You think it's a myth or it's a fact? If it's a
No,
fact,
like,
why?
I changed
If
a
it's
fact.
myth, you change to facts?
Yeah, because it's not only because of depression. It can. It's.
But
we
it's
talk
a
about
I think it's the
suicide.
main
It's
main-
a main.
main-
Yeah, it's a
primary
main.
reason.
But we
How
40.
reason why someone dies
Die
of
from
suicide?
suicide.
Yeah, died of suicide.
Yeah.
Someone else is
Suicide
Primary-
often
primary
occurs with
one.
depressions.
อ่ะแฝงแล้วล่ะ
Facts? Michael?
Okay.
Based on your calculations? Facts? Molly said facts. Oh, I do it. Decisive.
What?
It was
Fact.
it was a
That's
Jimmy
12,
Neutron
12
moment.
minutes. Every 12 minutes.
Every
12
Okay, 1 week. A month. Oh,
12 minutes,
wow.
it's a lot of
a
no,
lot.
It's a meat.
Oh, fact.
Facts.
Okay.
And
Meets
I also
Jim-
It's
Jim-
you change from fact to myth, myth to
Myth to
fact,
myth.
and everything is
Okay,
myth.
fact.
How many states are there in the US?
How about you, Anna?
50.
50.
I
Imagine
think it's
one
too many,
person from
but the
each
thing is-
state at least.
You want to wait for
Maybe
it's true.
it's that many.
Yeah.
That's maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
We
that's-
just don't know that.
I
You know
think
what I mean?
this question
Mm.
want us to be shocked up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It's a
a
fact. It's a fact. This statistic from 2013. That's a
13.
consensus. Yes, a consensus.
Yeah.
2013 in the US.
Man,
That was in 2013, and it's in 2020. And
Wow.
with the lockdown, what do you think would
Yeah.
happen?
Man.
When
Even
the
triple.
people with mental illness live,
Lost their jobs and
lost their job, no incomes, live with depressions, can't really reach out, and
Discrimination.
it's just like at the baseline they don't want to reach out, right? But on top of the lockdown, what do you think? How about
Even
the
worse.
person who was traumatized by the parents and was forced to live with the
Oh, yeah.
parents?
Yeah.
What do you think would happen?
would be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why the WHO just released an announcement that mental illness would be a
Matters.
pandemic.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And this is just like normal people. We so bored, right, during the lockdown. Some people just feel like, oh, I'm so like, I want to go outside. I feel suffocated. This is normal person, isn't it? Without mental illness. What if the person with mental illness live in that condition during lockdown?
What about someone who so enjoys so freaking
Some people might enjoy the lockdown, but it just like just give you some,
Your privilege then.
Yeah.
When you enjoy it.
Yeah, just think about it. Like the person without mental illness might develop
Yeah.
mental illness during this lockdown because it's not just like bored, they can't go outside because they lost their
Right.
income.
Mm.
Financial like stressor is a very
Pressures,
huge
just-
one.
And also,
Yes.
or maybe like normal people accidentally or immediately experience like bad things during the lockdown. It also
Yeah.
can cause.
Even the fear
Mental
of the
illness as well.
coronavirus.
Yeah.
Man.
Fear of getting it, oh, am I get it already? Am I infected already?
Anxiety,
How about my grandparents? Should I go and visit them? Should I live like how many meters away from them? It creates anxiety and fear. Right?
Right.
Anxiety, fears.
Not in India. No domestic
Yes.
abuse.
Yeah.
Number
It's
one.
myth. Depression is only brought
Myth
on
of-
by a traumatic
Myth
event.
also.
On-
I'm a myth person.
Myth.
Only สิว่า myth.
Yes. Depression is only brought on by a traumatic event. What do you guys think?
Only. Myth.
Myth.
Yes, Michael?
Myth.
Myth? That's very good. Yes, it's a myth. Same what you just said, right? It's not just like if I lost someone that I love, it doesn't mean that I will get depression. It would depend. I just want to emphasize again and again. It would depend on my coping strategies, my support system, right? How I deal with that stress. It doesn't mean that if I lost someone, would develop depression.
Maybe it's a series
might-
of bad things
I might
happening.
have a series, I might have an episodes of
2020.
depression, but it doesn't mean that I will have major depressions. Talking about depressions only makes things worse.
Myth.
Myth. Myth.
Is it?
It's a fact.
Myth or facts?
Myth.
Myth? Yes? And how about
Talking about, but where and who do we talk to? But I think myth.
Not only the word is only myth.
Yes, talking about depression only makes things worse.
Myth.
Imagine
Myth.
yourself
Myth.
talking about depression. Do you think it makes things worse?
No. I think
Like
Okay.
everybody, I agree. It depends on who you talk to.
คือ
But with this, I'll go with myth because it says only.
Only,
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
But if you talk to like a psychiatrist, make it can help you though.
Yeah, I mean you have to like speak it out. But if
And I don't think not many
Depends.
people will
If you talk
react
to
like negatively if we talk,
mm,
not like we share on like two people who we don't know.
if you yeah.
Myth?
Myth.
Myth? Myth? Michael? No peer pressure? What do you think?
Only
Only no.
What?
make things worse.
Myth?
Myth.
No, he said he will pass.
Myth.
It's a myth, yes.
Yeah.
Only make it worse if it doesn't.
Not always.
Not always, right?
Not always.
It's a huge misconception. It's just like if you talk about depression, you will attract that bad energy, or
True.
it will make things worse. It's actually not. That's why we do counseling, right? That's why we do counseling, because when people talk about it, they actually like have a clear picture in their head, or like what am I going through in the moment. If they don't talk about it, they sit there in the corner in the bedroom, ruminating about it over and over again, thinking about their problems. It's not gonna make them feel better. Talking to someone about anything, not just when you feel depressed, talking about life, about my work, how's your day, something like that. If it's a bad day for you, just talk it. Just say it out, write it down. Just make it clear, So like the mind, the very, very messy mind, it can actually give you like, okay, what am I stressing about? What am I depressing about? Give you like something just very clear for you, just to know it. Alright, so now with interventions.
Ben.
With interventions, as Ben asked, right? Interventions, we know that major depressions and other mental illness caused by biopsychosocial factors, right? Biopsychosocial networks. So if you want to actually treat the major depression, we have to look at the biopsychosocial again as well.
Biopsychosocial.
So meaning that the myths can be different from different person, like
Which one?
like meaning that somebody that have like the symptoms of depression can have like more because of the bio part, a little bit less of psycho and social, or the contrary, more of the
I
psycho.
can't really say it like because I don't have any studies to back me up. But I would say that everything contributes. Yeah, everything contributes.
In different weight.
Possibly, maybe or maybe not. I don't know yet. I don't want to give you guys a myth.
But
Right?
it's interesting to know,
It's
like
interesting
maybe like
to
different
know.
country can have like, oh, you need to build a society more.
But you remember the nature versus nurture? Yes. Is it someone behave like this? Is because of their genetics or their environment? More and more research, not just about mental illness, is actually like human behaviors. It's more about nurture. It's more about the
Not about the
environment.
less.
If you're interested to look into the research, I suggest you look up the twin studies.
Twin stuff.
Yeah, because they have 100% genetics, 100% similarities, but you would be surprised about the outcomes of what they're finding. Yeah, those people who live in like a very supportive family, we have a better like success rate at their work, get a higher education than the one who have like a very like unsupportive, low living, low economic status like family. Yes. So if you're interested, just look at the twin studies. It's twin studies. That's right. So
you put the twins
yes,
in those
as I mentioned
situations.
before, yes,
life situation.
some might involve some medication like pharmacotherapy, antidepressants. The main one is the SSRI. It's actually targeting serotonin. Actually want to make serotonin more available in your nervous system. The medications.
What's serotonin?
Serotonin is like neurochemical in the brains. It's kind of happy chemicals. Serotonin, norepinephrine, and also dopamine. Dopamine is like a reward one. Serotonin is more on like your sleep awake circle. I believe. I'm not sure about this one, but this
Stimulation, like giving you motivations.
yeah, it's just like remembering your motivations or how would you behave to seek that reward. It's all interplay. But serotonin in major depression is quite prominent because many medications targeting on serotonin. Yeah. And the second one is non-pharmacotherapy through counseling. It can be like clinical psychologist or the counselor at school or at uni. The next one, when you seek help with the clinical psychologist, they tend to use this method, cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy, in a nutshell, is like targeting your negative thoughts. Why you you think that you have these feelings. They try to connect like the feelings, your emotions, your behaviors
Your
together.
brain.
Yeah, like these factors depends on each other, and they try to target it on that. If I said that I feel like no one's want to talk to me, they hated me, and the psychologist would ask me, why do you think that's the case? What makes you think that's the case? And I reveal like they seem to like me because I have a weird hair, for example. It can show that they have like not really a low self-esteem, right, to the person. They try to actually like how you feel, actually connect to how you behave, to your emotions. Try to target the negative thoughts, and they would give you homeworks. For example, when you feel distressed, what would you do? Like this. And it occurs in like 6 or 7 sessions, depends on the person. This is like in a nutshell, but I don't completely understand CBT, but this is just the basic one, targeting the negative thoughts and give you more effective coping strategies. Yeah. Next one, stress management like mindfulness and meditations. And you're a good person to speak
That's a
about
good word that we
mindfulness.
use.
Yeah, like people might think that mindfulness and meditation is the same thing, but it's actually not. Right? Mindfulness, you can just open your eyes and just realize that what are you doing right now. For me, if I'm practicing mindfulness right now, I would say, okay, I'm giving a presentation. I'm talking about mindfulness with Anna, with Ivo, with Wally, and Michael.
And then
Where am I right now? An apartment, something like this. Right?
To
Just
realize,
aware of the
to be aware.
moment. What you are doing, what you're thinking, what are you feeling right now? That's what my understanding of mindfulness. And meditations, as you know, it can be many different forms, right? And meditations and mindfulness actually show a good evidence in reducing the symptoms of depression. It's a very well backed up by science. Mindfulness and meditations.
right.
Maybe we start to, just take a moment and just to, sit and think for a second, like, okay, what am I feeling right now? Who am I talking to?
I always think
Something
about
like
Ben
that.
like, what are you grateful for? He asks
Yeah,
that
that's a
always.
good question. That's a good question.
You always ask that for the meeting, what are you grateful for?
Yeah, it's actually,
Then-
it's everything. Keep the
Yeah.
grateful diaries,
Exactly, yeah.
like every day,
Mm.
any events, you just note it down.
Yeah,
Same as like
It
writing
can,
a diary.
it can even be like items in your house.
Yeah, I'm grateful like my plants doesn't die.
I just put some water.
It can be anything. Small things matter. Just see the goods in everything.
That's nice.
Everything that you do.
And a shaper, says Thomas, he has a calendar that he would rate like every day a year. So at the end he can reflect like how many days that he feel
Must-
happy, how many days that he feel like it's okay, and how many days that he feel that he was sad and it was nice. I mean, like just to do it too, and to be mindful about your condition.
That's right. That's very good. Guys, maybe we have to start like practice meditation and mindfulness just now.
Rock climbing as well.
Yeah, or when you're cooking, or when you're working, or when you're drawing, you actually, focus and put your attention to that thing in front of you. It's maybe a form of mindfulness as well. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit on that. So
Yeah.
a lot of people who experience like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, these people, they actually lose touch of reality. A lot of them, even though they're sitting right here, their mind is not with them. Sometimes when they look at things around them, they feel like they're not real. And I experienced that before, and it was scary. It was scary. That's why people start cutting up themselves, because they don't feel it.
Yeah.
It seems like when you look at the light now, is it even real? Like, why am I here? And I feel like mindfulness is extremely. I don't know how to emphasize enough. It's extremely important. Even listen to the sound of the aircon. Giving you sense of belonging, the sense of life.
Yeah.
You're right here, right now, and it's okay.
Yeah. It's just like there is one technique called the grounding techniques. When you feel overwhelmed or experience something like Anna said, just look 5 things. What you can see, five things right now. What you can sense, 5 things right now. What can you smell, like 5 things right now. Just keep you present. Yeah. For example, okay,
okay, there's an aircon, one thing, curtains, computer, people, kitchen, like this. And how about the noises, like noises that you hear right now? Maybe I know what is walking, the walking steps, the cars, the aircons, when the door shuts, and maybe, yeah, and your voice, like this. Just a simple, like grounding techniques just to keep you like, okay, when I feel overwhelmed or I feel like everything is not real around me, just use these techniques. I think it's very good one.
ตัวนี้แบบ
And the last one is promote the protective factors. We say that biopsychosocial risk factors, right? We try to, for example, this is your baseline, right? This baseline, more is like maybe would put you at a higher risk in mental illness, and this one you try to be on the baseline. If you eliminate the risk factors and try to boost up your protective factors, it's kind of like prevent you from developing any mental illness. First one, as I emphasized probably 20 times, use your coping strategies. If you don't know, try doing it, whether it's listening to music, exercising, eating, drawing, I don't know, many things, right? Or even like cooking, do your hobbies. Establish one, but it works for you. Maybe you like Ben, or just, spend some time just isolate himself, maybe walk around the park. Just have a fresh air, right? Breathe the fresh air. It could be your coping strategy as well. Just find one that it works for you, and maybe discovering more.
Let's ask people.
what's your coping
What
strategy?
is your กำลังใจ? Who is your กำลังใจ?
Oh, he has been asking.
Yeah,
you wanna
this
share
morning.
about
This morning I was. No, it was
that? Yesterday.
yesterday. Yeah. Another one shipper asked me like, oh, I was reading on your page,
Yeah.
and then would you
เรา
I'm
แบบ
feeling
ว่า
like
he or she
He or she, yeah.
needed กำลังใจ so he or she visited our page and feel like I don't know, like it's not only the กำลังใจ from anybody, but it has to be from a certain people that
yeah,
be able to
or
give the กำลัง
certain
ใจ
thing.
or
It can be within from yourself as well, right? When you're feeling down, you're the only one who can determine what you're feeling right now. Maybe just like don't push yourself, too hard. Don't work yourself too hard. Just give a space for yourself to enjoy the thing, to do something that you enjoy, except from earning money.
right
Yeah, I mean money is very important. I kind of emphasize that, but you also have a space for yourself just to enjoy that thing. Maybe just like feed cameras, like people like love feed cameras these days.
Yeah.
Take a picture with your phones, watch a movie,
right
be inspiring, read some inspiring quotes, and self-help books might help. But I find self-help books can help me sometimes, but I'm kind of sick of it because when you read a lot, it's repeating itself. And I found, okay, I know new strategies, okay, move on. So just discovering new strategies
Right.
or stick to the one that works for you. Because like different people have different coping strategies, right? Maybe you enjoy listening to music, but I don't enjoy listening to music when I'm stressed. Yes.
So is it a myth or a fact that we can be resilient to mental illness?
I think we can. I'm sure we can. Any not just mental illness, I think in many aspects of our life, you need to have that resilience to overcome it. It can be like fear, right? It can be your perfectionist, overcoming it, resilience, a strength in you. But if it's just ourselves, it can be tiring. Have a supportive person, a friend, can also help us to build that resilience, right? Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people misunderstand the word resilient. Like it doesn't mean that you have to understand everything.
You don't have to get rid of that problem entirely.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
how can you live with that problem without
Exactly.
distressing it? Yeah.
Like
Without
change
worrying
your
about it.
perspective. I
Yeah.
think that's really important. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you have to be happy like 100%
Yeah,
every
it
single
doesn't.
day.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that okay, I have to earn this certain amount of money
Yeah.
every month to
Yeah.
make my resilience not. It's just like the person who lives with cancer but can still enjoy their life.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
other person.
They have a lot of strength and resilience
Yeah.
in them.
And that's the hardest part, to change the
Exactly.
perspective, to
Yeah.
accept
Exactly.
the condition.
And be kind to yourself. I mean, this is like the hardest thing to do. I mean, we tend to beat ourselves up too much. Sometimes we make one tiny mistake.
We just focus on the mistakes
Yeah.
and one failure. But you might like achieve a lot, maybe like 10 or 100 things.
And you just don't
But
look
you just don't look at it. You just
Yeah.
focus on these tiny mistakes. Of course, at that time, you will think that this is the biggest mistake I have ever made. My library sucks and I'm so stupid. Why I made this mistake? But look at your achievements. You don't really to see your achievements, right? You don't really remind yourself of what you have accomplished. Very good.
mindfulness is important.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Kindness.
Yes.
The coping strategy, because when it comes to talking to a person with the depression, let's say we are like giving the counseling
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
is it like I don't know, because we always say that we try to avoid giving advice, but is it a good mechanism if we give them advice to try the activities, trying to find their coping strategies, and if yes, can you give an example how to do it softly?
Softly. Yes. We will go through this counseling skills,
Right.
but I can tell you now, most of the time, people just want their voice to be heard. They want their problems to be validated. Just for someone to confirm, and yes, what I'm feeling is really shit. Yes, this problem is really serious. Most of the time, they just want the person to listen. But it doesn't mean that you need to be mute. It's not like that. And it's good not to give the advice if they don't ask. But if they ask, oh, what would you do? Yes, you can say it. Or if I were like this, but don't say that, oh, you're feeling like this. If I were in your position, I would do this X, Y, Z. Don't say that. Don't give like unsolicited advice. Is it a word? Unsolicited?
Like if I were in your shoes.
Unwarranted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Unsolicited.
Yeah.
that word. Yeah, unless they ask for it. How do you deal with these problems? I've seen you go through this problem. How did you do it? Can you tell me a bit more? They might ask about it. But most of the time, don't give people advice when they don't ask. They
Keep
know
it to
the
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
They
keep the
just want
advice to yourself.
Yeah, they just want to share. Sometimes they don't want to receive any advice. I just want my voice to be
Express.
heard. Yeah, I just want to
Especially,
express.
yeah, that's right. Especially with the person with mental illness. Do you think that how many times they heard about coping strategies? Do you think how many times they keep hearing, take your medications, suck it up? How many times? Like this workshop, I think I mentioned coping strategies like 20 times. 30 times. Imagine about the person with mental illness. They are the experts of themselves. They
Yeah,
know
true.
themselves best. They know what they have to do. But sometimes they just want to vent it out. They just want their problems to be heard. Yes, all the time. Yeah, we go through it.
My idea for the next post is that I want to do like an easy post, and I like the do's and don'ts, at least something that you should say or shouldn't say. Like โอ้ขั้น
Yeah.
เว้ยมันต้องเป็นอย่างดอกอย่างนี้นะหรือว่าแบบเคยผ่านมาแล้วอะไรอย่างเงี้ย something like
It's already done in Google.
Ah.
Yes, I put like a small one.
Do it
Do's and
now.
don'ts. Yeah, do's and don'ts in the counseling sessions. Talk to someone you trust. Diet and exercise. It's very
Diet?
strong.
What?
Very strong evidence. Almost similar to meditations and
No,
mindfulness.
diet is really
And exercise. You mentioned that exercise, actually part of your coping strategy. And exercise is very important. Remember, it's that
Like we-
mind, your body is kind of connected to each other. When your body exercise, right, it releases like dopamine, I guess. Yeah, it makes you feel better.
man true
Just use your coping strategies, even though you don't feel like doing it. Just do it. Yeah, better than just sitting there and ruminating over your problems or your mistakes. Just do it.
Taking drugs,
Drugs and alcohol.
dopamine also. Yeah.
It's to be honest, like drugs, we know that we shouldn't take drugs, right?
Yeah.
But of course, there are many evidence from the marijuana, but still, I would advise everything in moderation.
ซุกเกอร์ไม่มีนะ
But like it release
Don't
dopamine.
record this. I mean, personally, I think everything in moderation, but I wouldn't suggest Yes,
Yeah,
because when
yeah.
you go into
But-
that circle, if
But
you
it
won't
releases
stop.
dopamine.
It has to
Because,
be.
yeah, the
But in the
hormone
short
actually-
period of time.
Yeah.
and your body start to craving for it and more.
It's
Mm.
addictive.
It's like your brain can't produce that much dopamine, and then you need it.
Yeah. And it's kind of at certain
Like
point,
nicotine.
like nicotine.
Mm.
Your body actually adjusts to that dose,
Mm.
and you need more and more. Same as the medications.
Yes.
You can prove with the alcohol.
Everything in moderation.
Is it? Alcohol also?
It's really interested in alcohol.
No, but like, no, it's not. But I just want to know, like, is it because of that
Makes
that
your
people
muscles
drink
relax.
and
Yeah.
muscle relax? Okay.
Yeah.
But what on like?
But I'm not sure. I don't remember specific hormones or neurotransmitters that
Right.
actually like released by alcohol. I'm not sure, but I know that it actually makes your body relax.
Yeah, because I can notice when I was like working hard, I had 2 jobs and I was like stressed. Not
Yeah.
depressed. Did I say that word? I was stressed and I tend to find any occasion to go out, even like alone. You have seen me going to the bar alone and drink and it helped and it really helped and you kind of like
Not a good
it's not a good coping strategy, but you just feel like you need it and it
But
helps.
sometimes a glass of
But it's not a good.
A glass or 2 glasses, 3 glasses.
a glass of but like,
Okay.
Yeah, I feel-
Just as long as you don't
Long
run
relation.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Just as long as
just
you
one
know,
glass, very
have some
fine.
have some self-awareness that you don't
Oh,
rely on
Ben.
it or disconnect.
And helps any dices.
Man. Yeah.
I even stay over until 5 a.m. every day.
They are
It
not
helps-
really.
It helps like for only short period of time.
Yeah, but
Ben.
those are the coping strategies.
Hello?
Don't depend on it.
Don't depend on
Yeah.
it. Yes, it's very
You
important.
hear?
Right.
Yeah.
What is your
Yes.
coping strategy?
That's alright.
I used
So
to take
don't
like
depend on
alcohol as
Oh.
like coping
No, but like-
strategy.
After just one hard day, warm,
Yeah.
it's hot. Just
Yeah.
one glass.
That's fine. Occasional, that's
Yeah,
fine.
occasional,
Let's
like,
use
something.
self-reward. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, that's fine.
But just know that just have some self-awareness
Not substitute.
that you celebrate, okay? You achieve something you want to celebrate, or it's just a tough day, I just want to
Yeah.
have a glass or have a bottle, 2, 3 bottles.
One
A
glass.
bottle of wine.
Glass.
One glass.
One glass, but
It's
refill.
okay, just as long as you don't depend on
You
it.
understand it? Like it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one
yeah.
drop.
And use
That's
other
good.
coping strategies as
Yeah.
well, you know?
Okay, to be mindful that you're having too much alcohol.
Yeah.
Twitch.
So,
Ah.
yes.
Alcohol is just one. just one of the coping
I think with
strategies.
diet, like because you were laughing
What?
Yeah.
when she
Mm.
talked about diet and exercise.
Yeah.
But it actually really helped. Like
Yeah,
you
no.
said, there are a lot of evidences because actually food, a lot of them naturally have the chemical that when you eat it, it
Mhm.
increases your serotonin. Like it actually helps.
It's just
Seriously.
like, yeah, and from the other perspective, you're just treating yourself.
Mm.
It's
And it's very
reward to keep
I was laughing not because of
diet.
diet, but like it's like eating healthy.
Because we
Diet
cannot
is
do
like
it
for me
now.
like losing weight. So I was like,
Yeah.
what?
No,
I need to
because
lose
like, I
weight.
can feel like
Healthy.
even trans fat, if you consume too much trans fat, then it
Yeah.
can affect
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
As
Not
well.
just a mental illness, but your
your
your blood pressure,
everything,
Yeah.
your
cholesterol
sugar
level.
So eating
Yeah.
healthy, like what's your diet?
Yeah.
Yeah, bodies and minds always
It's very
connect.
close connect.
It's always connect. Just treating your
เริ่ม
body.
นานคืออยู่บ้านแล้ว
Yeah. So that I mentioned about pharmacotherapy, non-pharmacotherapy, and protein practice. Mostly, when the person diagnosed with mental disorders, they would start non-pharmacotherapy first before give the dose to the person. Because medication is not a magic pill. I cannot emphasize enough. No medication in this world is a magic pill. Even people with heart disease, they use the medication, but they have to change their lifestyle as well. Same as mental illness as well. There's a lot of self-management, right? You need to eat, sleep, do your coping strategies. Constantly seeking help with professionals who knows how to deal with that problems. They're trained for it. You seek that help first. But people with mental illness, they will start with a non-pharmacotherapy first.
Yeah.
If it's not, if that symptom is still presenting and it's getting worse, for example, from someone start to self-harm and to develop suicidal ideations,
the doctor would give them the dose of antidepressants and other diazepam, something in pen that would help you feel better.
So good to be here because
She
We're recording.
Yeah.
because no.
Yeah.
No, I okay.
Don't be angry. Don't be angry.
No,
Okay, I'll
I can
say
feel
first.
that. I can feel it because I used to be, under this process when I was, 2 years back. I have
Sorry.
this kind of mental illness or mental health issue something. And yeah, they try to talk, to approach, trying to avoid medicine first. I was fortunate enough to have light manager to come and talk to me, and I couldn't feel better, and then they advised to the company as mental specialist because we have kinds of
That's
specialists
nice.
from
Your
Singapore.
company?
From
You
Singapore,
need
yeah,
to-
and then they call every day, every single day,
That's nice.
and
Your
then
friend?
they supported.
My friend.
Yeah, they supported, trying to make us feel more comfortable to speak, but it doesn't help much, I would
Mhm.
say. So till we have to be, under the medication.
It's like self-management.
Yeah.
You have, but if you or anyone or other people happen to use medications, you need to understand that you can't rely on that medications alone. Same as drugs and alcohol. Like typically, people with depression will start with 5 milligrams of antidepressants first, and to wait for the medications to kick in and actually help you going through your problems easier. It might take a month or 2 months, and there is also a side effect of medication as well. For antidepressant, is increase your risk of developing diabetes. For
Yeah.
antidepressant, and for schizophrenia, it's actually developing increase your risk of high cholesterol and other physical symptoms. Some people drooling when they're sleeping because of antipsychotics. Some people feeling numbness. Some people
Yeah,
shaky.
yeah.
Because the side effects of antipsychotics is very, very, very severe.
Yeah.
And they comes with a new development of medications all the time, But I just want to emphasize that if 5 milligrams doesn't work, the doctor will push to 10 milligrams and more than that, more and more. You will increase yourself getting too risky for everyone. And it's very important if you happen to know anyone when they start on antidepressant for the first week, you need to monitor them very, very carefully because it can really mess up with your neurochemicals, right? It can, some people, they said that some side effects of antidepressant when they start to commencing it, it's actually make you feel more depressed. They want you to feel like you suicidal, increase the risk of suicide. First week of medication. That's why the doctor needs to be monitored and the nurses need to be monitored when the patient start any medication for the first week because we want to see what are the side effects that they are experiencing. And medications like paracetamol even have side effects, right? And these medications as well. And different people, affects it differently.
Yeah. I was
So-
also
Paracetamol also? Wow.
Actually, I was about to say because I used to feel that kinds of side effect, after receiving medication, and
Yeah.
it create another depression because we are looking forward to see
A miracle.
a miracle. Why
Mm.
when are we going to deal with this kind of medication because it takes months,
Yeah.
and then as Pan said that doctor needs to be stand by all the time to recheck our well-being, our mental status whether it's good or not because I don't know because it happens to me once we are we don't know what to cope with and then we try to search too much information and then we are more depressed because none of the none of the information from Google from all around
Exactly.
is not very validating that this is the right thing, so we consume a lot of information and it create another,
Anxiety.
bigger depression.
Every time I read Google about my symptoms, I feel I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
True.
Whatever disease I'm going to have, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Right.
I mean, yeah. So yeah. It's
And we have the feeling we relate in any kinds of symptom or if you take this kind of medicine you will become this way and then we reflect to ourselves I used to have this experience all the time.
And if the medication really works, there would be no one who lives with depression for years,
Yeah.
or 7 years, or even more. right?
That's why I say Suga should be here because she used to she had been seeing this. I'm not really sure if she's psychiatrist or not.
Loves.
But yeah, in love, and she has like I think she's graduated from the US Nila, and I'm sure that she saw this doctor or a psychiatrist for once or twice, and then she started giving medication, and I was not so sure which kind of medication.
It's
It was
like,
like sleeping
it's very
pills.
political. It's very political in psychiatric ward or even in psychiatry, because like people often perceive the doctor as a top dog of the team, you know, and what do? They diagnose and give you medication. I met some fantastic doctors, and I met some the worst one that I don't know why they qualify to be a doctor. If you feel like you don't feel comfortable with your psychiatrist, change to the next one.
Yeah, that's why
Like
she.
a good opinion.
They are a lot of jerks out there.
Yeah.
There are so many
And
jerks out there.
in many professions as well, even the nurses as well. You know, like if you just trust yourself, don't let anyone, you know, just control to say what you should be doing. And I always encourage my patients to look after themselves, to know the side effects of their medication as well. You know, because like they need to be like empowered. You need to take control. You can't just rely on professionals. This is you, this is your disease. You know yourself best. So be empowered. Know the medications. What kind of side effects? Is there any alternative of that medication? Yeah.
แพ้หน้าต่างเปล่า
Open
เพราะว่าไม่
It's
ควร
okay. Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
เอา
All
ตา
right.
Hey, you want to open?
Naniก็ได้ครับ
I prefer to stay.
He will present now. To sit.
No, it's okay. When I'm talking, I prefer to stay.
Charger เจ้าสมัย
It's kind of getting more energy, you know, when we stand.
เอาชาเชอร์ของสามจริงไว้
Yes. So it's very important just to be empowered. It's just like you don't have to study nursing. You
No,
don't
no.
have to be a doctor
Use the
or
computers one.
psychologist.
It's faster.
These the information that I'm presenting to you
Mm.
now. It's just like you can look it up, from reliable.
พอได้เอามาจาก
sources.
ร้านเดอร์ไลน์ shit
That's right.
What's what happened?
พอได้เอาชาเชอร์มาจากร้านเดอร์ไลน์
Oh. Really?
I have to go back again tomorrow
Tomorrow.
Oh, is it the one at the bottom? Like.
man
Yeah, I thought it was there. Yes, the support that they need. Just a short video.
I mean it you know ต่อ Wi-Fi no ต่อ Wi-Fi กัน
No, keep video in it. So it's a very short video from people with mental illness, what they really need.
Sometimes it happens when we have like kinds of mental issues and then we don't know how to interpret into sentence, into words, into like the concept, how we feel. It's just like, okay, I'm not feeling good, but I cannot tell how I feel. I cannot structure, like what's the process of feeling that, which is
I
very
experienced that as well, and writing works for me. Just write anything. Write at least write it out. When you write it out, it makes your mind more clear, and you know like what you're feeling right now. I find that writing helps when I can't really explain it to someone.
Mm.
เพื่อนกันไลฟ์
Huh?
เพื่อนกันไลฟ์
Yeah. Not transferring to anyone.
Just a very short 1 minute.
There's something about sharing your story with other people that gives them a sense of hope that they're not alone. To be in a group with other people who are going through the same thing just makes it so much easier.
For someone with depression, those connections are life-saving. They're so important.
Lots of people actually would contact me back after watching a few of my videos and say something like, you gave me the words I didn't have.
And with the help of a good support team, doctor, psychiatrist, therapist, you could get through it and you can actually be a stronger person because of it.
My friends were significantly important for my recovery.
That's why oftentimes we need people around us. And with my wife and my daughter, I often say that they're my best antidepressants.
Yes. very short one.
What is it that stands out to you? What is it?
แล้วเจ้าก็ไปว่าพูดแค่นี้นะ
What is it? Just one thing that you feel like is really stands out to you. Oh.
Hello.
Can you watch one more time?
Yeah.
Something about sharing your story with other people that gives them a sense of hope that they're not alone. To be in a group with other people who are going through the same thing just makes it so much easier.
For someone with depression, those connections are life-saving. They're so important.
Lots of people actually would contact me back after watching a few of my videos and say something like, you gave me the words I didn't have.
And with the help of a good support team, doctor, psychiatrist, therapist, you could get through it and you can actually be a stronger person because of it.
My friends were significantly important for my recovery.
That's why oftentimes we need people around us. You know, and with my wife and my daughter, you know, I mean, I often say that they're my best antidepressants.
Support can be medication.
Anything stand out? Stand out to you?
I think connection with your friends and family.
Yeah.
Or even the people who are going through the same illness.
Yeah.
Like
And
กำลังใจ
environment does help.
Yeah, because like when I feel in the stage of how you call it depression episode, I decided to apply to Asian Birth. Just because I wanted to escape from the situation that I'm in, at least to know more people, to put myself being busy.
Have a
Yeah,
sense
and
of
also,
belonging.
yeah.
Have a sense of belonging.
For me, I also feel like this environment is very important because I have a very supportive family. They allowed me to do what I wanted. At that time,
his dad is so lovely.
at that
He was
time,
like,
yeah, my
what
dad was recording my video when I did catwalk. And my mom said, "Oh, my darling is LGBT like identity, and I'm so proud of him." All those stuff, and you know, when I got depression, and my mom said, "Okay, you can do whatever. You can resign. You can move wherever you want to." And then I moved many times at that time, you know, and Khao Yu Hong, so I stayed at a flat, and then I couldn't, you know, like be alone anymore. But I couldn't. I wouldn't want to be with my family at that time, so I moved into the place where my friends were around, but it didn't help. And so I moved again until, you know, I got in the stage where I had to go back home. Yeah. So the family helps and people around helps a lot. Yeah.
Look at this
Your
t-shirt.
parents should be.
The t-shirt.
People should know about their story.
Yeah.
We want more parents like that.
They seem amazing.
I got my goals.
I think just to see that, like they said at the end, you know, like people, those who you trust, those who listen to you, can be your medication, and you don't sometimes need to go through a real medication, I would say. And I mean, like, this is the intent that we want to do, I guess, to break the stigma and to help and support those who we can help, I guess, with our abilities.
คือแบบ like you ask กันนะ like กำลังใจ from whom อะนะ
Yeah.
Sometimes it matters sometimes, but sometimes when you really need help, when you think that it's time to seek help อะนะ just a person who is anonymous, who you don't know that person, but he or she listen to you, that already means a lot. Like it saved me once, and that's why I feel like a lot of people will need this, what we are doing.
Yeah.
Because the person had reached out loud and it really helped me to get through the situation.
Or even like reading the comments on YouTube videos and then you found that someone, wow, they were in the same situation as you, and you just feel, I don't know, just sort of warm. You know, like I think loneliness is the scariest thing. Like you feel like you're the only person in this world. And like you said, it doesn't have to be someone who's close to you. It can be someone who's experiencing the same thing as you. But then look at, you know, seeing them experiencing their situation, you feel like you're not alone.
Next aim, the support system.
Yeah.
maybe we can gather some people with a lived experience with mental illness just to, their voice to be heard.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Supporting
Let's
group.
do a supporting group because we do it like with terminal illness,
Right.
like cancer and kidneys.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
She would like tell me as like alcoholic person. I don't drink that much though.
Yeah, a group of people who would like make judgments. Right?
Yeah. Also, it's not only it doesn't only come from outer like support system, but we also need to try to build our inner strength as well. Yeah, to be.
Develop your inner.
Do you-
spirit
Yeah,
animal.
yeah.
Do you feel confident that you can be part of the support after this session? Just a question to all of
Like, do you feel more support?
confident
Confident?
to be able to support.
To support other person.
Maybe like after this session.
After this session, yeah. I don't know if it's done yet, but
No, I'm not confident yet because I still have a lot of things to learn. But I feel lucky when I sit here and I was like listening to this. I feel like I'm lucky to hear this, to know this.
it's like she can sell this like for $1,000 sessions or
Yeah,
something
and you're
like
here
that.
for free. I'm
Yeah,
like,
this-
oh my God.
It crossed my mind several times, like wow.
I think you did such a great job
Oh, yeah,
because just before you said that, I was like, wow, I actually learned a lot.
Yeah.
Same.
Like before this session, everything was kind of like not in order, but right now it kind of, they kind of lined up.
Yeah.
Like the steps, how to talk or what to say or what shouldn't, like a lot of things are in place, more in place. I wouldn't say it's perfect yet. Like I'm still not that confident enough to support people. Like I need to learn more, but I just feel more confident.
Yeah,
before this
right.
session.
Because in the reality, when people like share their problem, it's not only the word, but it's the emotion as well. It's not just how we control the content, but how we control the emotion when they react to us, so that we can provide them like the right support as well.
That's really cool. That is really like a need to spread the
TED Talk.
The next TED Talk speaker.
We will organize it.
Yeah. It's really my aim, just to be honest, I just start to becoming more interested in mental illness probably when I did my degree about neuroscience. But I never thought that I would be spreading the awareness of mental health in Laos. I don't know. It was like first thing in my mind. I was like, I got nothing to do. When I did the workshop at the US Embassy, I feel like I got nothing to do. Like you said that you need to do something to feel like you're being just like you're not worthless. I have to do something. And it wasn't like that my side of hyperactivity actually okay, just how about you give volunteer something. Yeah, that's a start. That's what I everyone.
นี่ก็ได้แล้ว
หมายถึงใช้ได้แต่ระบบ
เมื่
น้ำบ่ได้
อกี้ที่คนบนท่านตื่นน้ำ
อ๋อ
But what you do is very outstanding.
Yeah.
Like the first time I reached out to you, I saw the first poster of the Thadam Center, and I was like, I saw Sakhon first. Yeah, I saw Sakhon click going, but I would be in somewhere in abroad, like maybe in Cambodia or and I was not be able to attend. And I was like, Sakhon, how are you going to do this? Even can you get her contact, because I wanna get in contact with her.
I registered, they refused me.
No, not this, not hers. No.
I think there was like a registration.
No, before.
The Thadam, I limit the space for 40 people
Mm.
only.
Yeah.
Because it was my first public speaking to general audience. So I feel anxious too when I give us presentation. So I told the Thadam that okay, can you maybe it might not reach 40 people, but can we limit to 40 people? And they said within an hour there
So
were
many people.
100 registrations, and everyone, even my friend, they okay, sorry, decline, you can't register. I'm sorry, next event.
I think Sakhon stalked her.
Oh, really?
No,
He
I
hasn't
went to-
attended,
Yes.
but and I was like, by any chance do you have her Facebook? And he just captured your Facebook and sent
Wow,
it to me.
it's like on spy.
And then
I
I was
went to Sakhon workshop
that's
for
why.
social entrepreneurship
Mm.
because I plan to do it after his workshop a week after. And I think I I was in Laos only like a week, and then I tried to attend the workshop because I don't know like how it's gonna be like. So I went to his workshop first to see the vibes, you know, of like who is the listeners. Yeah, basically. Yeah, he gave a very fantastic workshop as well, Sakon.
For all of you guys.
For us, I mean,
And
for you
yeah,
guys,
to
you
learn.
know, like sacrificing your time, like it's planned to be a
No, you
7 days.
Six days already.
Now,
Ten
the
already.
lesson is
It's
learned.
like, but you guys are very like fantastic groups, you know, like you share your opinion, you show your
Wow.
critical thinking skills. I love that. I love seeing that. When people start to, you know, is it really a myth of fact? Like, what are the reasons to support my choices, you know? When I did a countdown, I was doing it like with the English side as well, and I noticed that some people might not really comfortable with English. Maybe that's why.
But you spoke loud.
In Laos,
I
mostly.
actually have a question, but
But
maybe you
many
guys
people, but many people actually like reach out to me and say, oh, I really want you to open a clinic here. That I really can't. I'm not a doctor.
Not yet, not yet.
I'm not a doctor, you know. And it's just like some people say that I'm so interested in this topic, but we cannot learn it at the uni. Or I still suggest them. There's a lot of information available online. You know, like just encourage them to know it because. And I received a lot of DMs since that US Embassy workshop. Like my family member, like this, blah 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 blah. What should I do? Who can I talk to? Like there are any clinics, like to support the person with mental illness. What should I do? Like he started this behavior. I received like DMs like 10 or 20 different people that I don't even know. I don't even know that reach out to me. You know, like what should they do? What should they do? I was like, wow, this is really serious. Yeah. Alright, let's continue. The things, worst things ever someone with mental illness want to hear. Be grateful. There are people starving, homeless.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yes, of course. We all know that people are starving. Like kids in Ethiopia, you know, they're starving and there are many homeless. But is it really help the person with mental illness? It's not. It makes them feeling worse. It makes them feel even worse. We have all been there. That's right. We have all been there. Is it helping me? Is it really helping?
I don't really understand how I feel.
Okay. Just think positive. Oh my goodness. You think that I don't know? Think positive. You know, mental illness patients, they know these strategies. They don't want these words.
know it already.
I've been through it. You've been through it too. It's all ups and downs, and no one said life would be easy. Yes, is it true? No one said life would be easy, but is it at the right moment that we want to say these words to the person with mental illness when they reach out to you? Maybe it's not really helping. It's not really helping. Yeah. So next one.
They have even like exposed more than us. Because before becoming like mental illness, they have searched so many informations in order to overcome that.
Yeah, that's why I said give advice when they really want it from you. If they say that, can you give me some advice? Or I've seen you've been through this before. Can you tell me some tips and tricks you have? How did you go through it? If they ask you this question, yes, you can give your advice and use your experience. But if they don't ask, it's better not to say it.
Just
Counseling 101. Two
101.
last slides now. You guys are so tired. Two last slide now. It's just about counseling 101. I'm not the expert, I said earlier at the beginning of the workshop. I'm still working the way how I consult the patients. And it takes practice, it takes time. You might like say something that you shouldn't say. I probably have said like millions things that I shouldn't say, right? But I just want to say that it takes time, you know? Like this is the reason why psychologists, you know, they need to study for many years to become like a counselor or clinical psychologist. But just try our best, you know? And I believe that without any professional knowledge about mental health, everyone can do active listening. Everyone can. So active listening, what it is actually listen to understand.
with your full concentrations and your attention to the person that you're talking to, and you're paying attention to what they're saying, what they're talking to you. That is active listening, right? And what do you think are the goals of the counseling? If you happen to consult a person, what do you want to achieve at the end of the counseling? I think you're going to be in that situations, right? When a friend
Yeah.
approach you.
Sometimes we are not very sure whether what we did help or not.
But what if I ask what you want to achieve after a counseling sessions?
I think I would probably want to know what's wrong with me. Like
To clarify, to
to
validate.
validate to my good research, whether they are right or not, but it's probably just me thinking about when I went to counseling. That's basically what I was expecting, like to understand myself better, and then some tips.
So like better to understand yourself.
Just to release. Just to release what in our head, what in our mind, just
Yeah.
at least okay, I can release.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it depends.
That is when you were the recipients, right? When you receive that knowledge.
How about the counselors?
The aim of the counselor first is to explore why the person come to my sessions, why the
Yeah.
person call, why do they call instead of calling their parents, why do they want to talk to someone that they don't even know, or even like telephone counseling. When you calling someone, you don't see their face, right? You don't see their gestures. You can only listen and hearing their voices. You can notice the tone of their voices. Someone who's very anxious might have a very fast speech, or they have a very a very noisy breathing, like this when they're anxious, right? You can notice that. But what you can do is active listening. You need to listen, paying attention. That is really the goal of active listening, right? The goal of the counselor to explore what the person is experiencing. And when they ask, we can give professional advice. Yeah. What we can do as a Gamlanjai volunteer, if we think that the person is really need help, we can be as a gatekeeper, refer them to the mental health clinics. That's what we can do. We cannot solve their problems entirely, right? We can't do that. We need to know our scope of practice, know our boundary, what we can do and what we can't do. You can't do everything for everyone. Just remember that. Yeah. And avoid being judgmental, opinionated, or compare your situation to theirs. Don't use the phrase, if I were in your situation, I would do this X, Y, Z. Don't compare. Don't compare your situation to them, because you will never understand what they're going through. Be inquisitive. Ask them. Active listening doesn't mean that you have to be quiet. You ask. You ask not from time to time, or even like a short response like, I can see you're feeling very distressed. Is it because you just, I don't know, your family hasn't visited you at the hospital? Is why you're feeling distressed? To validate, to make sure that, just to prove to the other person that you're still listening to them. Even it's just like, yes, I see, like this. You can actually make a difference, like what? How do you feel when you call someone like, mate, I feel like shit right now. I don't know what to do. And the other person just like, keep quiet.
Then they will start like the hum.
It's okay.
Then you make us feel horrible.
I just want to
Response.
say that most of the time, people just want to vent.
It
They
looks like
just want
disconnected.
to say out
Maybe
about
he's
their
gone.
problems, right? They don't really want your opinions. They probably know what they have to do, but at that moment, they just want to say it out. They just want someone to listen to you, to them. I mean,
Maybe he's sleeping already.
Even have the answer.
11.
yeah.
Oh, is 11? Yeah, man.
Oh, where is he?
Really?
And like this, give empathetic response and focus on the here and now problem. Everyone that you encounter, they probably have a very big history. Maybe they have been traumatized by many things. But in telephone counseling, you just focus on the here and now problems. Because like, how long are you gonna stay on the phone? You know, how many minutes? You can't solve their problems. They can't solve the problems since they were a kid until now. No, what is it? What is the reason why do they call? Just start with this one first. Yeah, start with this one first. As I said, you can validate, like give some response like, okay, you're feeling hurt right now. Is it because you just had a fight with your family? Like this. You're crying right now. Is it because your friend just ignored you, for example? Yeah. Just give something like this. Yes. In the telephone counseling, determine the person's safety. You can ask, like, okay, like you calling us, so can I ask where are you right now? Are you alone? Just to some basic assessment, you know, that they are not like, you know, like trying to do something or harming themselves. It will take practice and it will take time, but over time you get better as like pointing out who's in danger
Yeah.
at the moment. And then give frequent response as I mentioned. Sure, yes. Just like this, just make sure, just to let them know that you're listening to them. And the last one is to focus on the tone, the pitch, the volume, and the breathing, as I mentioned. When someone is crying, you probably hear them like crying, right? It's very obvious. And maybe someone who's angry, you can feel that as well. You can hear it, right? That tone of voice would be different from someone who's very sad or who's like very depressed, right? It's very different tone of voice. That's what we can do. Telephone counseling, I think, is quite hard than like in person, like face-to-face counseling. First one, you can't really see what are they like looking right now, what emotions are they expressing right now. You can't maintain the eye contact, right? And you can't see their gestures. I think it's kind of hard than face-to-face. That one, yeah. But in a nutshell, just like start with why did they call? What is the situations? Are there any other person, like third person, involved in that incident? They probably have a fight with their parents. They probably have a fight with their partners or their friends. Just like exploring this, yeah. And try to encourage them. I think what we can do, if they ask, use the coping strategies. Yeah. If they ask for your help, don't give advice when they don't ask. Yes. Okay. I think last activity.
Okay.
It's actually a role play.
Oh no.
Alright, no angry anymore.
I'm not sure. I think a very small room. I think you're probably just shocked. Case 1. Case 2. Case 2 is very relevant. You want to be an actor?
No, you can. To be safe. No?
No, the actor. I think because I prepared like 2 cases, but I think it's better just to do one. Considering the time, it's like 10. You guys have work to do tomorrow. Yeah. So in groups of 2 or 3, I will be the actor. I will be the one who's calling one of you guys. One of you guys will be the listener, okay? And the rest of you will be the observer. For the observer role, what you have to do, you like just observe what you think works in this engagement. Yeah, what could they've done better, and why the person called. What is the situations? Yeah, what can you identify any supportive system that they have? This is the role of the listener, that you need to ask questions, but you just can't keep asking it, okay? You need to know the situations and when to ask. Yeah, just try to explore, why did the person call? What is the situation? What is she feeling right now? Do they have any support system? What are their coping strategies? Yeah.
It's hard.
Now you're the one who calls.
No, not wrong. I mean, like, it's very hard, even for like health professional, like nursing students or any medical students. I think you guys are very awesome. And there's no right or wrong, we all learn. The aim of this exercise is just to give you the feel of how is it like, to be on the phone. Yeah. And I will sit, I don't know, you guys just choose who will be the listener.
Want to volunteer?
Who is the listener?
Well, we can try. Yeah?
Who want to be the listener?
She's my go ahead and sit down. Like that.
My turn.
Yeah, and the rest will be the observer.
Okay. Okay.
What's that?
Up to chairs.
What am I supposed to do?
about to chairs and eat up.
Active listening.
Active listening? Okay.
Yes. Try to explore.
Okay.
Don't
And
sit
then
in the
Don't sit.
Oh.
Oh,
Yes,
Hang
make
on,
a face.
Yeah.
So who's talking?
Me.
Oh.
And you're listening to her.
But then you need to console me as well.
Oh, it feels great.
Yeah, see?
It feels great. But then
Sorry.
ใช่ป่ะ
여보세요?
ต้องเป็นภาษาเกาหลีแหละ
คือเขาเรียนภาษาอยู่แล้ว
แทนต้องว่าเป็นภาษาเกาหลี
뭐 나이.
보세요. 아, 이거.
저는 팬입니다.
보고 싶어요.
Okay, one second. Let me think of the case first.
Yes, second case.
From second case.
이 쓰는 데서.
Nice, supposed to be the second case.
Maybe just
Hello?
Hello?